Joey's part?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're all excited to have the opportunity to play in front of them, our fans, and expect to come out with a good performance. Week of training has been good. It's been nice to welcome back a couple guys. Ahmed Kassem is back in full training. Wyatt Meyer is back in full training. So again, kind of some more competition in the group as well, and so yeah, I think the team is ready to go.
Thanks. We'll start with Chris and go down the line, and feel free to ask 2 questions if you have them.
Cool. Coach, every coach for years that I've talked to about playing a team that you have history against always says the past has nothing to do with the future. I'm curious, given the streak that these 2 teams have been on, do you pull and try to look for every ounce of motivation you can, and do you play into some of the streaks saying we're going to snap that thing tonight because if we don't, we're done?
I mean, maybe historical. That's where the coaches are talking. Maybe it doesn't dictate your future success.
Yeah.
But I think it's for us, we constantly look back. We've had opportunities to play this team a couple times this year, and there's always opportunities to learn, grow, and improve. They're a really good team. They've challenged us in different ways, and I think we've been able to spend this week learning some things from the last game, improving some areas, and also focusing on what we do well and coming out and doing that on Saturday night.
Is it realistic to say that you guys need to play your best game of the season Saturday in order to win?
I think we just need to play the way that we play. We know that the same way that we've been playing at home throughout the season, we've always been in good form here with the support of the crowd, and I think we just have to play the Nashville way, and that's we expect that that's good enough to earn a victory.
Go ahead, Bob.
I'm good.
We'll go down to Blair.
BJ, how hard has it been to maybe lift up some heads in the locker room and making sure everybody's ready for the game tomorrow?
These guys are motivated. It's not hard at all. They're professionals. They have a burning desire to win the game, and they are as committed as a group as you'll see.
And we saw a tactical switch last time out with the formation, maybe a little bit of a change. And now that you've had some time to kind of marinate on that, I guess, how did you feel like it did, and are you planning to continue to use it going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I thought the intention of why we did it was to try and get the ball into the wide areas, and I thought it was pretty effective. I thought the goals that we concede were maybe more about just us not being sharp defending certain situations. And then certainly I think we have to look at how we can continue to create good goal scoring chances. We've done that against them before, so I think we're confident in the way that we can still create enough scoring chances to win the game and clean up some of the little odds and ends there and have a good game on Saturday.
Go ahead.
Just looking at the kind of contrast between the decision day game and the first leg of the playoffs, obviously the second or the playoff game, less chances conceded, and it felt like maybe a little bit stronger defensively, contrasted with the first half of that decision day game where you were able to create a lot. How do you kind of find a balance between like defending Messi in this attack and then creating those type of chances?
Yeah, I think there's, you look at it, it's still 2 separate phases of play. So I think defensively we take away some of the good things that we did, and I think there's some areas that we have to improve in terms of whether it's small group defending, team defending the penalty box. With the ball, I think there's opportunities out there. I think there's opportunities for us to exploit certain areas, and we just have to be a little bit better at executing, and those chances will come. And then at the end of the day, we have to finish our chances, just like we saw in the last game of the season, and even some of the chances that we had down in Miami in the first game. Like we just have to be a little bit better at executing.
When you look at some of those chances, a lot of them have come in transition. How have you worked on this week on kind of just executing the final pass or final shot a little bit better and making the right decisions?
Yeah, it's something that we talked about all season is, when we get into the final third, we want the attack to finish, right? And hopefully that finishes with a goal, and if not, that phase of play ends and we're able to reset. So it's something that we constantly stress throughout the season, and it's certainly something that, when you play Miami and you play in these type of games, that you're going to always highlight.
BJ, looking at Nashville and the last, when Ben was just referring to it, the second half of the game here and probably the full time there for the most minutes, and even aside what Miami can do, which they can do a lot, we know that. But how do you think the team has looked very different from what your plan, the plan that we've seen from the team the whole season? I think myself that I've seen a different Nashville team in that second half and the game in Miami. Tactically.
No, yeah, I mean, I think it's just about us, being confident and executing on how we play. I think there's moments that we do it really well, and then there's a few moments that we're maybe, a little bit indecisive on our decision making. And then that leads to kind of, I think, again, I said it after the game, I say it still now, like the way that we conceded goals was, I think we just have to be better and we have to be sharper. But collectively, the group, as long as we're committed to each other, committed to what we want to do, and committed to playing hard, I think you'll see a good performance.
What can the fans expect tomorrow? I mean, in terms of the effort that they always think about this team can take care of things here in Nashville, in George's Park. Is that still the same?
I would say if that's the mentality of the fans, it's aligned with the same as the mentality of our team and in the locker room right now. We believe that we can win the game here. We know with their support and their energy, and that we'll be able to, play with intensity. That's what we do, and the team that they've come to expect, the team that they, represents the way that this city is the team that they'll see on Saturday night.
I'll go to John on the Zoom.
Jay, just touching on the idea that you talked about earlier about kind of the two different formations and approaches to the game. I wonder which, do you end up thinking gave you a better chance at win? I mean, you look at the scoreline in the second, would suggest that was, but at the same time, the first game, you had so many opportunities in the first half of that, that there really could have been, bigger advantage. So yeah, I guess which do you feel like gave you the better chance?
I mean, I think when you talk about it tactically, there's it's about what you're trying to achieve. That's why you put in game plans. And what we're trying to achieve is to obviously neutralize their attack as much as possible, and also find moments that we can create goal-scoring opportunities, whether that's through turning them over and in offensive transition, or if it's through our build-up and exploiting spaces. I think, in both games, we created those type of moments. The first game offensively, not as much as we wanted, and that was that's certainly that's an area that we've been focused on, and we have to improve and execute better.
Just one more. I wonder this year on the back line, I guess specifically the center backs, Walker has kind of been in and out of the lineup for various reasons a lot of times, and just what are your thoughts on how communication has gone for the two center backs, because there's been a fair amount of rotation throughout the season.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that's sort of been forced due to certain circumstances, but I look at it more across it's more of a back four than it is necessarily just two center backs. Yeah, and I think the communication is fine. I think there's a clear idea on what they're trying to do and what they're trying to execute, and we just have to make sure that we're buttoned up and do it well.
God bless.
With Halloween being today, do you have any tricks up your sleeve for tomorrow?
No, good question though, but no. I just hope everybody has a safe Halloween, a fun Halloween. It's a great opportunity to sort of enjoy ourselves, but to not have any sort of sugar crash, and make sure that we all show up on Saturday as energized as possible.
I don't know if you guys can top that, but anything else in the room?
Not custom either? Not custom tomorrow either?
No. I'm pretty sure you'll know what it looks like.